What's good, Goat World? It's your boy, Tooth from Tooth YGO in the building, covering a great, excellent GoatFormat.com exclusive video for you all today here in the wonderful world of goats, baby. Today, we are covering GGP Queretaro Top 8. Queretaro, located in central Mexico, baby. Great event. Recommend you all check out the coverage and as well as these lists. As we go down the list, starting with number 8, we have Hector playing Chaos Control. Now let's take a look at this one, y'all. We have the BLS, the Breaker, the two Storks. Pretty slam jam. Thank you, man. Pretty standard for your boy over here. I kind of like what I see here. And then you see the one and the only Cyber Jar coming on in. You know him, you love him, or you hate him. You know, if you don't play this sucker, you're going to hate him, okay? I like the Cyber Jar here, okay? It's going to throw him off big time, although, you know, the main card you're going to consider this is, you know, this is obviously the slot of like a Deco, right? This is obviously in the slot of a Deco. Is it better than the Deco? Maybe. It depends on what you want. This is a momentum shifter. You know what I'm saying? This is a momentum shifting card. I think it's pretty rock solid. I think this is pretty rock solid. It makes the deck a little high rolly, of course. It's also going to be, you know how the jars are, you know, morphing jar, cyber jar. These are prone to the knocks. You know, these are knock magnets. Your opponent can play 2 knocks. They'll get the third out somehow. They'll be cheating and knock these suckers out. I tell you what. We got 3 spies. I love the spies. I know there's some people out there thinking about the ratios for Chaos Control spies. 2 spy, 3 spy, 1 spy, 4 spy. I think 3, you're okay. Okay, it's going to work out. Okay, I think it's going to be okay. Okay, I think 3 spy, you feel comfortable. You can set up the fortress. You can really settle down and take a chill pill. I love what I see here with the double face. Now, personally, I think this could be a threesome. This could be a third faith. This could be a third faith. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? 2 faith is safe, and I kind of like it. It's standard, it's clean, it's cut, and it's dry, baby. And speaking of dry, we got the Sangan, the Serp, the Triple TD, and the Tsukiyomi to round out the monsters. Now on to the spells. Here we go, baby. Taking me back to 2017, baby, with the double book. Oh, bring me back in time with the double book. We had the duo, the charity, the heavy. Okay, we all know those cards. I don't need to explain nothing. Triple meta. Look at this. We have triple meta coming on through. You may notice, where's my swaps, right? You may be asking, where's the swaps? We have triple meta, no swaps. To be fair, right? You don't really have a lot of guys here that you want to be swapping. This ain't no Asura. There's no Asura going on here. There's no tomato. You can obviously swap maybe like a spy. Obviously, you can send around and play around with your Tsukiyomis and your scapegoats. But aside from that, you know what you really got going on with your swap. So the metas make sense to me. This is maybe another reason why you pop off with a third faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking the third faith can really get you sticking with these 3 metas, get you moving. But at the same time, you know, the best thing about Chaos Control is that level modularity. You know what I'm saying? The level modularity. Now say it with me one more time now. The level modularity. Because you got the level 1s, obviously. You have the level 5s. Pretty cool. You get Dark Balter. Okay? Level 6, now we're talking my language. Now we're going to be able to get the Ryu Senshis and all the crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can get that, the one guy that banishes 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you can even do, I mean, you can always do the level 8s, but you know what? It's Chaos Control. You got to think about the level 8s, man. Get you that Gatling. Okay? MST, 2 knock, pot, Prima. Okay, you don't see this too often in like a Chaos Control kind of deck. I think it's kind of cool here. But is it actually? I don't know. Maybe if we weren't doing, maybe if we were doing 1 Sork, this could be something to consider. I think it might be a little bit excessive, if you ask me. I don't think you're going to be popping off a lot with this premature burial. But hey, this got to 8th place. This got top 8. Who am I to judge? You know, I'm 4 foot. I'm 1,500 pounds. I don't know what I'm saying here, dude. I got 70 IQ, maybe 60 IQ. Now that I think about it, 2 scapegoats. Okay, so we're doing 2 scapegoats, 3 metas. Sure. I think that's a fair ratio. Again, obviously, you're not really doing much with the swaps if we're going to do the swaps. So incorporating the 3 metas in, that's fine. Maybe you could consider bumping up to a 30, a 30 for the birdie. Scapegoats on this, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to stick to what we know. 2 scapegoats, 3 metas. Okay. We got Snatch. Okay, Snatch coming on in. We love him or you hate him. I mean, now Snatch. Hold on a second. Snatch is standard. What am I doing? I'm speaking too much here. The Mirror Force. Okay, 1 Raigeki break. Count them one. Count them one. One and done. Okay. You have the Ring. A Saku for. We're bringing out the Sakus. I like it. When you go out to a GGP, you never know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate the one Saku. You're trying to settle the score. You're trying to make sure that if you're going in, you got the protection to ball you out, bail you out a little bit here. It's okay. Although I think that if you're playing control, do you really need this? Could this be a third scapegoat? Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. This could be your third scapegoat. That can synergize with everything else you got going on here. You know what I'm saying? And then that can maybe get you a swap. If you get the third scapegoat, then you can consider a swap. And then we got kind of like a more control-oriented deck. This seems more like a Chaos Turbo Light with a fancy little jar in here. I feel like there's 2 ways you can go about this, right? You either do a Chaos Control Light kind of package, where it's pretty much Chaos Control, except you got the 2 metas, 2 goats, or you go in and you do a full control kind of package. I think you're a little toe stepping. You're a little toe stepping here. And that's fine. You got top 8. Good. Congratulations to Hector on this top 8 list here. As we continue on here, we got Torrential and 3 shoots. We're trying to deny. We're trying to make sure they don't play nothing. We are in control. We are the control deck. We control what's going on with your hand, okay? I see you got yourself a little SERP. Yoink, I got it. I do. I obviously like the shoots. Shoots is here to stay. That's how it's been since I started. Shoots have been around, for years at this point. 3 shoots seems a little excessive in the control deck, but obviously, obviously it's a double-edged sword for me, right? Because the control deck is the reactive deck. You need your opponent to kind of do something, and if they don't have any monsters, they're not doing nothing. So you're not doing nothing. So I don't know how much I like that part of it, but obviously getting the hand knowledge lets you know exactly what's going on, and then you can play control better with more hand knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so good. But at the same time, you kind of want to get your stuff going. So I think like a 1 or 2s of these might fare better for you. But oh my goodness, guys, take a look at this side, okay? Jinzo, you can consider Jinzo, a considerable choice. I think it's fine, because you have the Prima here. And as we check down the side here, we do have ourselves a call. Okay, fair enough. Double Mobius. Okay, you're a little excessive here. You're a little excessive. This is a little crazy. I like it though. You know what? Obviously, I think you're doing way too much with this, because you already have to consider, are we taking out all this stuff up here? Are we taking out the Chaos package? Are we just going over to a strict go control kind of deck? Are we taking out the TDs? Because this seems a little excessive on our tributes. You know what I'm saying, man? We have the Morphing Jar. I like what I see on this Morphing Jar. You already have the Cyber Jar, so you're already high rolly as it is. This list is getting crazier by the minute as we enter in on 3 Neko Mani Kings. Yes, you read that right. You see this card on the screen. That is 3 Neko Mani King. Neko Main King, baby. Wow. Who has seen this card in a deck since like 2020, since lockdown, SmackDown versus Raw lockdown over here. Sheesh, for those that don't know, during your opponent's turn, when this card is in your possession, is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, it becomes the end phase of this turn. So you're going to be using that with like stuff like Empty Jar, for example. This was an Empty Jar side. But 3 here, I don't even know. Is what's going on with the local meta? I got to get my information right on this one. Sheesh, look at that. 3 Neko Mani Kings here, baby. We have the Spirit Reaper. I like me a Spirit Reaper. I think Spirit Reaper's pretty cool. What the hell is this coming up? It's the Swarm of Locusts. What the fuck is that doing here, baby? Look at this. And if you don't know what this does, once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. If this card is flip summoned, okay, target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy that target. Are you kidding me? What's that doing here? What is that doing here? This is probably one of the most wild picks. I haven't seen this in a minute, man. I haven't seen this in a minute, man. In a deck that isn't specifically the Pac-Man. I need to see some. I need to see this card go cook up some action over here, as Hector was clearly able to secure an eighth place finish for the top 8 at the GGP Queretaro. Here we go. Call the haunts it for you. We already talked about that. I like what I see. And he had triple decree. I know some people we're really on that decree chaos control. I kind of like the deck. And on paper, right, it should be like the coolest fucking thing on the planet. So I do like the ability. I do like what I see here. I do like the special ability of this royal decree. Gets you through your traps. I like that. I like it. I like it. Overall, Hector, your deck is crazy, but I think you got the mind for it. I think you're going a little crazy here, but I think you were able to contain the chaos. That is chaos control, baby. Congratulations on 8th place as we go hit up 7th place. This is Fernando coming on in with another goat control kind of deck. Hold on a second. I was going to say goat control, but we're going to be a little light on it. Let's take a look here. We have the Asura Priest. I like the Asura Priest. You know me, I'm a big fan of Asura Priest. One of my favorite cards. I made the prediction at the beginning of this year that Asura Priest was going to overperform for a lot of players. And here I am, once again, correct on Asura Priest main, popping on in and doing some work for their boy, dude. Look at that, Asura Priest. You know him, you love him. He's a light. He's got good stats, 1,700 attack, 1,200 defense. It hits everything. Everybody's doing the chaos control side strategy back. I'm not sure if they're still up to those shenanigans, of course. But I know that, for a while, everybody was on it. Everybody was doing that chaos control sideboard. That Asura Priest, it puts them in the leg lock that I love to consider whenever we're talking about, the modern day, dude. Get yourself an Asura Priest. Go ahead, go to your local store and buy it because this card is banging. And thank you, Fernando, for recognizing that and putting it in your list. Going on through BLS, Breaker, 1 Sork, okay, 1 Deco. I like a Deco. Everybody loves a Deco and Spies. If you can put them in, you just put them in. It's just how it is at the end of the day. 1 Kaiku, okay. We're putting in a beater. We're having a little bit of like a hybrid kind of style deck. You have a little bit of defense, a little bit of offense. You're kind of doing, some people would consider this almost like a thunderclap kind of strategy. I know that was popular for, had this cup of tea for a while, maybe a little over a year ago. I like what I see here. You have the offense, the defense. You can you can summon, do a whole bunch of shenanigans as we get the Moth here. 1 Moth. Okay, I like that. I like the Moth. Everybody loves Moth, baby. Mystic Tomato. Got a Mystic Tomato for you, baby. I love me the tomatoes. You know me, baby. Tomatoes. It hits a weak spot. Now, obviously, the version here is suboptimal. You got to get the TCG art. You know what I'm saying? Whew. But aside from that, we're looking great as we head on over to the next card here, which is Shining Angel. It's basically the Mystic Tomato, but for light monsters. You love to see it. I feel like the Shining Angel here is pretty good. Obviously, it works really well with some of the cards we're going to be seeing in the future here, like the swaps, obviously. And then it gets you this DD Warrior Lady, which is pretty cool. And it also gets you a Moth if you really are in a tight spot, or if you have a Tsukiyomi in hand. I'm pretty sure that's going to pop up. That's going to do his thing. That's going to go crazy. I kind of like it. So this is like a Chaos Recruiter kind of deck. It's a little bit of everything so far. It's a little bit of everything. I don't know what I would call this. Is this a Chaos Recruiter deck, or is this, just like something else? Only one way to find out is to keep looking at the list, baby. Fernando's cooking up something scientific over here as we have the Sinister Serpent, the Tribe, a Tsukiyomi, a Zaborg. So we're doing 1 BLS, 1 Stork, 1 Zaborg. If that's your boss monsters lineup, I'm loving what I'm seeing, baby. You're speaking music to me. We're on a similar frequency, a similar wavelength as we see some of my all-stars, some of my favorites hit up this list. I like what I see here as the Blade Knight is swinging on in. Swing. Okay, I kind of like that. It is a little random. It's a little bit on the random side, but there is a couple other cards here that you would consider random. I'm assuming that this is just like, just have the variety. If you have, in a simple game state, a Blade Knight beating you down for 2K, that's a serious clock. That's something you gotta take care of. If you hold this right, do it, do it tight. You know, out of sight, out of mind. You're bringing out this Blade Knight, pop, pop, pop. It commands his own answer. I kind of like that. It demands the respect as a gentleman, as a knight in shining armor. This Blade Knight coming on through. Same with this Warrior Lady, but the Warrior Lady is obviously has way more reason to be in this deck. You know, you had the Shining Angel, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then you have an Exile Force and a Sangan to round it out. We do have one Rhoda for this, which I think makes a lot of sense looking at this. You know, that gives you access to 1, to the 2, to the 3. I feel like you should have, maybe finding a 4th warrior would kind of do you right. Like maybe a level 2. Maybe a Big Bad Dawn. The Big Bad Dawn pairs up with your Mystic Tomato. Maybe the Donnie is kind of what you need here. I feel like a Donnie would be really appropriate for you. Maybe you go into a more aggro focus here and you cut out this Deco, get the Dawn, you know, Papa Dawn. Boom, boom, boom. It also commands its own answer, or else they're going to keep discarding and they're going to keep losing the game. Okay, that's what I'd like to see. And now for spells here, baby. This is when things get a little crazy. This is when things get a little crazy here. As we have the Pot, the Graceful, the Duo, the Heavy, the MST, the Prima. Okay, Prima makes so much sense here. It's insane. The Nox, the Snatch. Two swaps, okay, because we have also a Scapegoat, okay, for our Angels, for our Tomatoes, okay. The Enemy Controller, I think it's the most random thing I've seen so far. Maybe more random than the Neko Main Kings. However, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, Fernando. You're trying to get, you know, these hybrid cards going, as you also have this Book of Moon. These kind of almost, you could almost say these are similar in design, you know, because they're both in their own unique ways, you know, utility cards. Now, obviously, the Book of Moon is way more utility than the Enemy Controller. The Enemy Controller is way less helpful in most game states. However, when it does well, it's popping off. It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. What can I say? And as I said, here we have the Book of Moon. I like a Book of Moon. I appreciate the Book of Moon. Good luck with that Book of Moon. And we have the Rhoda. Like I said, maybe get another warrior in there. I feel like 3 warrior, 1 Rhoda. I'm never gonna like be like, oh, this is amazing ratio. You know, you're definitely teetering on like, what are we doing here? Why do I even have the Rhoda? You know, let's get another guy in. Let's get the Donnie. I think the Donnie would do you right. I sincerely think so. Let's go ahead and take over the traps here as we have the Dust Tornado. The Dust Tornadoes, okay. I like that. The Mirror Force, okay. A Ring. A TT. In a Book of Moon. Not Book of Moon. And I call the Haunted. Now, I like the list. I like the lineup here. Obviously, you know, we're at 40 cards. Your 41st card, I imagine, would have to be like a Saku. You know, another battle trap. You know, maybe get that in there somehow. I don't know how, but maybe a main deck Saku might be exactly what you're looking for. And oh my god, take a look at that side. As we start with the Mobius. Okay, Mobius makes a ton of sense here. You know, you're rocking a Zaborg. It's just a 1-for-1 swap. You know how it is out here. The Air Knight is insane. The Air Knight's crazy. We aren't taking out the Borg for the Air Knight, right? Because the Borg is also really good against control. What are we doing for the Parshath here? You know, is it for RGT? RGT, I don't feel like you would want to bring in the Air Knight. You know, what else is there? You know, I think is it only for control? Because if it's only for control, man, you already have the Zaborg. So at what point is it like kind of redundant to be like, okay, we gotta incorporate this Air Knight Parshath into the deck? We have the Spell Canceller. Okay, if you want to take like the Protect the Castle method, this seems really appropriate. I kind of like what I see here. Although I feel like if this is for what I think it is, for like RGT, I feel like you could maybe add more of a control stuff into your side. I mean, you already are rocking a Scapegoat. You're already rocking a swap. At that point, you just need to do one more Scapegoat and then like 2 metas, and then you have almost like a nearly complete control sideboard. And if you want to go the extra step further, you just need one more slot for a 3rd goat. in your sideboard, and then you have a complete conversion. So I feel like if you want to take that route, I feel like the spell cancel is really flimsy. I feel like it can be really flimsy, because you have to draw into it. You only are rocking one of them. Maybe if that was a big concern for you, maybe you incorporate more of a goat smoke screen here. You know what I'm saying? The Zombira, I like the idea of the Zombira. Think that's potent. Not much to really say here. The Kaiku, I like a second Kaiku. You never know what you're going to get, baby. The level 2. Okay. See, when I see this kind of stuff here, it justifies the one Roto a bit more. But like I said, maybe main deck, bring in the level 2. Maybe bring in a Don. I kind of like that a little bit more than just siding them in. Bring that in, and then that gives you another free space. Something to think about. But what do I know, man? I'm 40 IQ, 40 years old, 400 pounds, plus another 12 or so. We have Minecon right here, baby. Minecon, I like it. I wish we had spies to make better use of the Minecon, but beggars can't be choosers. It's already synergizing already pretty well for creature swaps. So that's not the end of the world. However, I would much prefer we had spies somewhere here, especially since we have tomatoes and we have Tsukiyomis. Let's figure out what we're doing. There's a lot of things to consider, a lot of things to think about. Just something to consider in our toolbox that is the back of our mind. You know what I'm saying? Double walk. It's a GGP. You know how GGPs be sometimes. Gotta bring in that double walk. And then we also have the double decrees. Decrees, all I see, baby. Last list had 3. This one had 2. Again, I like it. I like the idea of bringing in some decrees. Pop, lock, and drop it. And also, I think that would also maybe make it better for if you consider the Go Control smoke screen. You know what I'm saying out here? Some decree Go Control. Now that's a crazy conversion. You already got the 2 decrees in here. Why not give it a try? Double Saku. Okay. I mean, I think this is fine. If you bring in double decree, double Saku for warrior, I think you can make that work. Not the end of the world. The double anti-spell fragrance. Holy smokes, dude. I don't know how I feel about this. Because I never played. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never played anti-spell fragrance and Go Control. And the anti-spell fragrance. And for the last card here, we have anti-spell fragrance. Anti-spell fragrance. I never played the card in Go format. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how much this can cook. I've seen a few people, bust it down and do their dirty work. In Warriors, for example, I've seen a few people, shout out to LaBounty, give anti-spell fragrance a try in some Warrior lists, and it was popping off there. There could be something here. Not a lot of people are messing with this card. It's a little bit on the rocky side as far as what people are considering on the verge of playability in our good old GOAT format. But happy for Fernando to give it a try. And clearly it worked because he got 7th place at the GGP. Shout out to you, Fernando, as we head on over to 6th place. Luis. Hey, Luis, how's it going? What deck you playing? Oh, I see what you're doing. We got some Earth aggro action as we bring it on in. Starting off with triple Gigantes. Triple Goblin Attack Force. Triple DD Assailant. Triple Giant Rat. Now, this could be standard. I think maybe, yeah, I think 3-3. I think you can make that happen. I don't see any issues really with the 3-3s. Assailant's removal and its pressure. Goblin Attack Force is basically a big old boy. It does a big old attack for 2,300, and then and that's its job. It does 2,300 damage. So getting 3 down the board, getting 3 down the range, that's almost lethal by itself. And Gigante just makes it all happen. You kill off these goblins, but then can you take on the power of this Gigante? It's one of the strongest bad boys in the game. You know what I'm saying? And triple rat, get things in motion. You thin the deck out. You still can keep on board the pressure train as you can keep on bringing out another rat, or you can bring out a lily, big damage, or you can bring out the exile. Go pop. go pop. Or you bring out the level 2, swing, swing, hit them face downs. You know, there's a lot of versatility, a lot of toolbox elements going on with this giant rat. I like what I see here. The Devil Rock Spirit. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at this rock spirit, baby. This rock spirit is kind of bonkers. I've done a lot of earth aggro kind of stuff. If you know me, you know I've done my experimentation. I've paid my dues with the earth attribute out here in Yu-Gi-Oh, okay? And I know a thing or two about the rock spirit. I can understand why people may like the rock spirit, but I am not a fan. I'm sorry. It's only 1700 on your turn. It can't really do a whole lot else, and it's going to be a big old brick. Okay, it's a big old brick. I hate to say it to you guys. So I would much prefer anything but the rock spirit. This could be, you can play the Momongas, you can play the giant germs, you can play anything else but the rock spirit. I think you'd be much more satisfied. But you know what do I know? Luisi is actually winning games. I am not winning games. So what do I know? What do I know? As we have a breaker, a warrior lady, a lily, an exiled in a level 2. That's plain Jane. That's how it is for Earth aggro. I like what I see there. Then you have pot, graceful, duo, double rota, double knock, double smashing, MST, heavy, primo, and a snatch. That is as plain Jane as you can really get with Earth aggro. I mean, the smashing grounds is pretty standard. You just get your pop, pop. Especially if you'll hold it for the chaos monsters. That's what this deck notoriously has difficulty with dealing with. So overall, clean. Looking clean. I like what I see. Too likey. As we go into the traps here, we have Mirror Force, Torrential, Ring, Call, double shoot, baby, and a double dust tornado, baby. I like it. It looks good. Overall, very much a standard, but yet, time-tested kind of back row lineup here. The one thing is that, the dust shoots, I can understand, right? You want to really pressure on the turbo. Some people would say maybe bring the Sakus to start things off here. Perhaps. You can debate on it. You can debate on these dust tornadoes being Sakus. I'd probably say no. I would say it's either the shoots or the Sakus. I think the shoots make sense based on what you're expecting. I would say if you're expecting a lot of the turbos, a lot of the gates perhaps, the shoots would do you a lot more favorably than the Sakus. But if you're expecting a lot more of the mirrors, the warriors, maybe even the controls, the go controls, then you're looking more towards the Sakus being favorable. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you think. You got to put your stats in there. You got to cluck away on some calculators and be on them keyboards to figure out which one you like more. He went with the shoots. Shout out to Luis for them shoots. You know what I'm saying? Onto the side, okay? Cypher Soldier, Earth, Rat Target. We should be popping off with more of these suckers. What we have instead here? The Mobius. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you already are playing, 3 Gigantes, 2 Rock Spirits. You're going to be able to get this guy. Should be something. No problem. No problem at all. Double Wombat. Okay. I feel like we'd be better off with an Archer. Give me an Archer and a Walk, perhaps. Because we are already on double Rota. We're playing Earth stuff. Okay. Get us an Archer. Get us a Walk. And we should be better off. That's what I'm thinking here. Instead of this Wombats. Instead of the Wombats, give me an Archer any day. Devil Kaiku. You could probably main this. You could probably main these over the Rock Spirits. Overall, pretty good so far. Double Minecon. I think if we're doing double Minecon side, we should have spies. And I don't think we should be a deck that has spies. This should be Sakus. This should be Saku. If you're main decking the shoots, these should be Sakus. That's how I see the world right now. That's how my mind perceives things right now. And Devil My Body as a shield. Sheesh. And Double My Body as a shield. Sheesh. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's a little out there. Obviously, it's a little out there. You know me, but you know me. So I really do like the My Body as a shield, as a card. In this deck, do we need it? I would say I would lean on no. We don't need the my bodies because we kind of want our guys to do our things and then die. You know, like we don't need to my body for the rat. We don't need a my body to protect the gaffs. You know, you're already rocking double rock spirits, my brother. You're already doing triple gigantes, man. You know, you kind of want these to hit the grave so you can keep popping off of your weenies, keep the assault going, keep it strong, keep it fresh. I don't know how I feel about these my bodies. You know, it's like the same way as like, would you play Solemn in Earthagger? And I would say no. I would say no. Double book, okay. Where's Wangu? Hold on a second. Where's our Wangus? Where's our Wangus, buddy? Very interesting that we have double book but no Wangus. Where's our Wangus, buddy? Cold Wave is crazy. Cold Wave is nuts. I mean, I kind of see the vision, right? You can kind of just play off of Earth off of the Cold Wave is insane. I can see the vision though. I can see the vision in my mind's eye because you know if you just go slam with the gaff, summon two Gigantes, you might be winning the game right on the spot. Fair enough. And then we have the third shoot to wrap it up. I like the third shoot. You know, if we're already remaining to shoot, a third shoot, you know, sure, sure. Congrats to Luis, placing sixth place. You know how it would be. Frank coming in. Holy smokes. You would think the higher place a deck is, the more standardized it's going to look. But, oh my goodness, would you be more wrong as we have 42 card control. Oh my goodness here. All right, starting off odd here, we have the Asura Priest, the BLS, the Blade Knight, the Breaker, the Warrior Lady. Ooh, okay. Okay. A Dawn. Ooh, I see what's going on here. I see the rhythm. The Exiled. Ooh, I see the frequency. I see the wavelengths are forming. The brain is pulsing. As we have Jinzo out of nowhere in this Jinzo. The Kaiku coming on in as well. You know I love to hit them hard with this Kaiku. The Moth. This Moth is so random. It's so random here. But I like it. All the same, this thing is going to get knocked off. I couldn't imagine this thing ever resolving. Ever in my entire life could I ever imagine this Moth resolving. If it resolves, I'll eat like a sock. I'll eat a sock. Okay. Don't show me videos of this thing resolving, by the way. I don't want to see it resolve. I don't want to eat a sock. That is crazy, though. They also have the most random Mystic Tomato. I like this tomato. This is a tomato that could. You know, it gets you Sangan. It gets you Donnie. Wow. Wow. And then here's a Sasuke. Gets you another warrior. I like the Sasuke. Okay. You know, I like the Sasuke because it's able to help deal with spies, which is one of the biggest bothers. The biggest bothers in Go Control. I like it. Sangan, a Seerup, a Trime. Is this necessary? Are we at 42 cards and we're doing double Tsukiyomi? Surely, right? Surely we can knock out a Tsukiyomi. We don't need to have the double Tsukiyomi, I think. I don't think we need this double Tsukiyomi. Here's a Book of Moon. Okay, a Brain Control. Everybody loves this Brain Control. Everybody loves Brain Control. Everybody hates Raymond. Everyone loves Earl. Everybody loves Brain Control. And if you look at the video right now, it looks like he's grabbing my brain, my 40 IQ brain as we move on over here. Now, I love the creature swaps, the double creature swap, looking hot, looking hot. I love what I see here, as there's also a Delinquent Duo coming down. After creature swap, right, we have Delinquent Duo. We have Enemy Controller, another Enemy Controller. Everybody's, clap your hands. What have all these enemy controllers coming on out? This is wild. What's going on here? Everybody's on the enemy controllers. Everybody's on the brain controls. Everybody wants to rule the world and control our minds. What's going on here? Everybody wants to control each other. What's going on with this? I need somebody in the field to explain to me why we have so many enemy controllers. After the enemy controller, right, we have the Graceful Charity, the Heavy Storm, double meta. Okay, double meta. I like the ratio. I like this ratio a good bit. Three, two, one. You know, you got the countdown. It's the final countdown. More than that in a second. We have the MST. One knock. Hold on, hold on, hold on. You're telling me, my bro Frank, you're telling me, my bro right here, Frank, main decked one knock? Whoa, whoa, hold on now. Hold on. Is that a glitch? Is that an error? I don't think so. I think this is intentional. I think this is how it's supposed to be. I just double checked, and this is legit. This is legit. One knock main. Why? Why? We have 42 cards here already. We have 42 freaking cards here, right? Why one knock? Why one knock? At least go up to 43 and get yourself two for a juicy boost and then try to figure out what you can do from there, right? What's going on here? At least get us 43. 43 with two knocks, you know? You're already at 42. That's not it's not a magic number, you know? 42, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You know? Next up, we got Pot of Greed. Next up, Prima. That's fair. That's fair. You wanna know why that's fair? Because we have a bunch of bangers. We got the Donnie. We had the Jinzo. We got a Kaiku. Yep, those are bangers. Those are bangers. Those are bangers. I like that. Double Rhoda. Makes sense. We're at what? 1, 2, 3 to the 4 to the 5 warrior. 2 Rhodas, 5 warriors. That should be that's close to being good. That's close to being I think that's on the lower end, obviously, for 2 Rhoda, but I'm willing to accept that ratio. That's a solid. That might be a solid fit, slim, healthy ratio. 2 Rhoda, 5 targets. Okay. 3 scapegoats, pretty good. However, at the same time, right, it's hard to think about the ratios when you got 42 cards. 42 card main. It throws the numbers off, throws the math out the window. Now we're playing checkers when we used to be playing chess. That's what it feels like when we have 42 cards here. We're just slamming stuff. We're trying to figure out what works. We're back to the caveman eras. We're trying to make fire once again with 42 cards in the main deck. As we have Snatch Steal. And then onto the traps. We got Ring, Triple Decree, and one shoot to rule them all once again. Why? If we're doing all this, just one shoot. Everybody loves the one shoot. Everybody loves one shoot. Even with Triple Decree, we still love the one shoot. But again, it's 42 cards. Math, gone. Existence, futile. Okay? We're rocking the boat. We're changing the programming. We're putting us on the channel 42. That's 42 cards in the main deck, baby. Oh my goodness. In the side, we got Jowgen. Okay. A random Jowgen summon could just win you things outright for no reason. Could be going bonkers for you. Could be doing you crazy things, right? I kind of like what I see here. There's a double Wangu. Okay. I wish we could do like, you have Primo. That makes Wangu good. But, imagine a world where we have the Call the Haunted. Now we're really speaking my language. They do scapegoats, right? We chain, call, target Wangu, and it's over. The game might as well be over. Okay, that's how I kind of see myself right here. If I'm doing this Wangu stuff, I'm doing the Wangu plays, if I'm putting this thing somewhere even remotely close to my deck, I gotta really think about if that Call the Haunted is somewhere in my now, what is this, 57? Not 55, 57, because we got 42. Keep that in mind. Gotta think about that. I think I would want the call. I'm thinking a call somewhere in this direction. Somewhere in the direction of what this deck goes. I'm thinking a call might be necessary. Because especially since you have not only Jinzo main, but coming up right next year, we have the Mobius. The Mobius is going to get us the power plays here. We need the tribute summon. And if that means bringing back this thing with a call, tribute for Mobius, we're so far ahead, it's unimaginable. It's unreal. And here we go, baby. Locking on in here. Here's the level 2 for you, baby. Okay. Here's a Zombire. Double. Double, okay. I mean, we have the rotos. These make sense. These make sense. I like what I'm seeing with both of these. Double Zambara is freaking nice, especially since we have double Tsukiyomi. Again, all the numbers, all the probability chances out the window. 42 cards. What? 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 There's a walk. Okay. I think if you're doing the walk, you could consider the two. One to the twosies. Onesies, twosies. I like double walk, but you know what? One walk is half a double walk. I like a walk. I still like a walk. There. Speaking of walks, here's our second knock. There it is. Finally found it. It was under the bed. It was under our bed this whole time. Dog ate my homework kind of moment here as this knock comes out from the side. Sure. I feel like there's got to be something here that we can maybe replace. Surely the deck can't be this tight to where we're playing 42 cards and knock in the second knocks in the side. Surely. And speaking of surely we're going to have to share the pain inside. This is some dark arts technology here. This is some sacred technology that we haven't seen in a minute here. This is some technology that's going to make you lose your lose yourself to the chaos of Go Control techs. Okay, this is where you reach the tipping point of what's playable in Go Control and what is reaching on illness. But it's okay. I like Share the Pain. I like the illness. I like the disease that is Go Control techs. Okay, Share the Pain. I like. Okay, now we're teetering on the edge of what is acceptable in society. Share the Pain, I think, is teetering on. I think it's barely hemorrhaging on acceptable to have in society. Token Thanksgiving, okay. Boost up a bunch of life points. Make yourself hard to kill. Okay, I kind of like what I see here. And there's double Curse Seal, baby. I got a soft spot for the Curse Seal. I hate to break it to you, but I got a soft spot for this Curse Seal. I'll explain why here. When I was starting out in Go format, right, I was thinking, what's a good card to turn off Go Control? And I was thinking Cursed Seal. Because not only is it good against Go Control, but it's also pretty strong against just like random stuff. Like Library. It's good against Empty Jar. It's good against Reasoning Gate. And I won against Gravekeepers with it. They did their Necro Valley. I Curse Sealed the Necro Valley. They couldn't play the game no more. And that's the power of the Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell. Now, obviously, as you get better, right, this whole shebang right here, this gets a lot worse. The more competitive an environment you get to. But obviously, I'm thinking this is going to be strong. I think this is going to be movement here. I think there's movement here that is unparalleled. Unparalleled right here in the motion that the Curse Seal can provide. I'm giving this card, a solid 7 out of 10. Okay, it's a solid 7. Now here comes the Hollowed Life Barrier. Now I'm thinking, right, Hollowed Life Barrier, a lot of people were on this for it was here for a little bit. It had a cup of coffee in the GOAT, meta scene as far as attack against specific decks. I would say this card is kind of booty butts. If I had a chance, I would make this second walk a million times over. But I'm not hating on people that play it. I would never hate on people that play this. Just because for some people, they really like it. You love it or you hate it. I'm personally going to hate it. But for people that love it, I'm glad you like this card. And I'm not going to take it away from you. Totally fair and understandable. And then to round it all out, we got ourselves the Threatening Roar. I think the Threatening Roar is good. Obviously is very good against specific decks. The only downside, though, is that we're playing these decrees. I think I imagine you would take these out, right? You take out the decrees to play this stuff, which would be much more preferable. But it's kind of hard, right? I feel like the triple decree, 42 cards, and you're just putting in one ofs. This is kind of tricky, man. You gotta get this up to 40. I like the list. I like what I see. You're doing a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of random things, a bunch of crazy shenanigans. And I'm all for the shenanigans. I'm down for this. I'm down for this. I'm down for this. I'm down for this. I'm down for all this, right? I'm down for all this. Frank over here, Frank Escobar. Top 4. We are breaking the sound barrier here with the Javier list here. Oh my goodness, I just looked at it for a second. It is Chicken Control. Chicken Control, the fan favorite. You know him, you love him. It's that Chicken Control here as we have Apprentice Magician. You gotta have the Apprentice Magician. You wanna know why? Because it gets you either a hand or a moth. Everybody loves those cards. BLS, a Blade Knight. A Blade Knight, get on in there. Get on in there, Bladey. Do your thing, turn on some Bladey and play some Blade Knights. Okay, I see you. Bust it down, Blade Knight. Breaker in the building. Warrior Lady uptown. Deco bringing it down. Hand. You know Hand. We know why Hand is here, okay? I don't need to explain why Hand is here. I'm not going to question your intelligence here. The Jinzo coming on in. Makes sense. As you can see down here, right, we have a Brain Con, okay? So with that Brain Con, you also have the metas, of course. Again, I'll come back to this later. I'm going to come back to this later. We're not the spells just yet. Just want to talk about some stuff. We have the swaps here. We have Prima. Okay, we can do a Jinzo. Only 4 traps. We can do a Jinzo. We can do a Jinzo. Double Kaiku. Just for you. I like what I see there. There's the double Kaiku. Everybody loving the Kaikus as well on this GGP. You know, 1800. Bring it down. Do some damage. Banish some guys. Going like, with the thing in my hand. I like that. I like that. With like the mask thing on the side. Ooh, I like the Kaiku inclusion here. Now take a look at this one. We got double Moth here, and then there's the Chicken. We got Chicken in the building. You guys don't know what Chicken does, right? Once per turn during your next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon this card from the graveyard, and if you do, destroy all spells and traps on the field. It's a good card, but obviously it's hard to pull off. You know, you either have to tribute to, or you got to use the hand to special summon it. Now, it special summons from deck, okay? Special summoning from the deck obviously is one of the most craziest things that you can do in Go format, and look at that. Hand does it. And you can do that with a goat token. All it takes is hand and a goat token. Like, come on now. Then we have Sangan, Syrup, Tribe, Tsukiyomi, Double Book. Double Book. This guy loves his books. Straight from 2020 Double Book. Okay. I want to see this book in action. I want to see these books actually go into action. I got to see what's going on with these 2 books. I can't judge now. I want to see it in action. The Brain Con. Makes sense. You got the Jinzo up here. You also have a Chicken. And you also have your hand, a Netifice. Nepitai. Okay, that's kind of cooking. And then we also have the swap. Okay, because we're playing the Go Control package. You get yourself a swap. You swap it around, and then you do a thing. You do a dance with the hand, and then you do that. Okay. Delinquent Duo. Okay. I say that as if this is occurring like every deck. And Econ, man, second deck with an Econ in it in top 8. Maybe there's something to this card I don't know about. Only time can tell. Go on the Graceful, Heavy, Triple Metamorphosis. Fair enough, because we also have the 2 goats. This is more like I want to ask this man why not play the 3rd goat. Why not play that 3rd goat? If we're playing this deck, we're having this ratio, where's our 3rd goat? I want the 3rd goat. You guys want the 3rd goat? Let me know in the comments below if you want this 3rd goat. MST, Double Knock, Pot, Prima. Prima makes so much sense here because we obviously have our Jinzo, our Hand, our Chicken, you know, a whole bunch of goodies. Yeah, get that Prima in. Okay, get that Prima in. Okay. Double Scapegoat. Just as I wrote up in the playbook, you need the 3rd one, though, if you want to complete the passage in my book. That needs to be a 3rd, I think, in my opinion. If you agree with me, hit the like button. If you think this deck should have a 3rd Scapegoat, let me know. And a Snatch Steal to finish off the spells. Traps, we only got 4, baby. Count them 4. 1 to the 2. To the 3 and to the 4. Mirror Force is knocking at your door. The Mirror Force here, bringing destruction. A Royal Decree? Okay, you got the Jinzo. Why not? And a TT to wrap it up. Do you want a 2nd Decree over the TT? I would say no. TT, I think, is great, especially since you're playing Chicken. Next, side deck. Asura Priest. Okay, it's control. Minus, well, get that Asura Priest turn. Get that damage. Do that poke. Do that pressure. Do that dance. Yep. Double Gorilla. Double Gorilla. Ooh, it's a little spicy. It's a little spicy because it has no coordination or anything else going on in the deck. It's just by itself a guy. And I feel like Go Control can really work off that. Go Control can really work off of just having guys that can be itself, do their thing, and just be passionately them. You know, and that's what Berserker Gorilla is. Berserker Gorilla is passionately that. He's passionately friendly. He's passionately him. Okay? I like him. I appreciate his honesty and vulnerability as we move on over to Mobius. We love the Mobius. Mobius here, I think, makes a lot of sense. But you already are rocking the Jinzo. Do you just take out the Jinzo and play the Mobius, or do you actually bring in 2 Mobius, 1 Jinzo main? That's a little crazy if we do that. But, you know, he got the Rocket top 4, 4th place. Javier, shout out. As we have the triple Smashing Grounds. I'm assuming you're bringing this in for control, and then maybe you're bringing it in against, maybe you're bringing this in also against Warrior. Perhaps. I can see that. I can see the vision here a little bit. There's a vision in my mind. I'm looking through the mind's eye, and I'm thinking that the Smashing Ground can be good for that purpose as well. Especially since you're also doing the Decrees. Especially since you're doing Decree and a Jinzo. The Smashings makes sense. Especially since you're already doing 2 books. Yeah, sure. Sure. Again! What's going on here? Top 8, top 4, anti-spell fragrance. This is blowing up. GGP Queretaro. Holy smokes. Triple anti-spell fragrance. Again, I can't tell you if this card's good or bad because I've only ever seen like 2 people play it, and one of them was the GOAT LaBounty. Okay? I only know so much about this card. I'm going to cry because I don't know much about it, man. I need to see more players rock the anti-spell so I can know and so I can learn and evolve. Okay? And speaking of evolving, we're going to evolve on over to Triple Dust Tornado, baby. Love it. But you already are rocking the Decrees. Where do you bring these in? Do we just rock 'em, sock 'em robots, bring this in for burn? I feel like if you want to face off against burn, you just bring in more Decrees, right? You already are the Decree deck. You're already a Decree deck, right? Why not just do some more Decrees? That's what I'm thinking here. If these are to take on the power of burn or warrior, you already are playing Decrees. Just do more Decrees. And one in the most random dust shoot I think I've seen all year, you have one lonely dust shoot down here at the very bottom of the deck. Buried in the bulk at the bottom of the shoebox is this dust shoot. Shout out to this poor dust shoot. This poor one dust shoot. No brothers, no sisters. Totally like left on a remote island, this dust shoot. All alone. Totally out here. Totally no connection to the rest of the deck. Shout out to this one shoot. The one lonely shoot. Shout out to Javier, man. Top 4 at GGP Queretaro. Ricardo. We got the BLS. We got the Breaker. We got Double Sword, Triple Spy, Double Kaiku. Ooh, it's a turbo with a 1-2 punch, you know? He's got the Ghost Destroyer. He's gripping your face like that. I like it. We're going a little bit on the aggressive side, a little bit on the aggro side. What are we cutting for this, though? What are we cutting for the Double Kaiku? I see. We're not playing Decos. He's saying, forget the Decos. I know it makes my opponent's knocks better. I know it makes my Night Assailants worse, but I want to punch in. I want the simple game states because then my Kaiku can do his thing. Fair enough. I feel like, obviously, the Decos are time-tested. The Kaikus, obviously, people have played this type of deck in the past. You know, these more aggressive turbo lists. They haven't, a lot of times, so they just haven't stuck around for very long. I'm interested to see if this player can stick to this type of aggro turbo kind of play style, as we also have the Double Moth. double night assailant, a Sangan, a Syrup, a Syrup, and a triple TD. And then to round it out, we have Tribe and Tsukiyomi. Fair enough. Plain Jane, simple, straight to the point. But then you also have the sleeper hit. The sleeper hit. The guy that's going to get up behind you and break your neck. Like Solid Snake, we have Kaiku's coming at your face. Okay, fair enough. For the spells, right, we have Book of Moon, Card Destruction. I don't know how I feel about this card destruction in this kind of deck. Obviously, card destruction is very, very popular in Turbo right now. A lot of people are saying this is statistically, mathematically, thematically, ethically, pragmatically, one of the best cards you can be playing in Turbo. And I would agree if we were playing more flips. I feel like if you want this card to pop off, you got to make sure this Night Assailants pop off more often than not. And with that, you kind of need some more flips. That's what I'm saying about these Kaikus. The Kaikus, you can't just squish them in wherever on a turbo list, because the turbo list is inherently you set and you search and destroy with the turbo list, right? You set them on, you flip them on, you set the next mon, you flip the next mon. Yeah, Kaiku kind of breaks that rhythm a little bit, and also it kind of breaks the rhythm of the Night Assailants almost always being good. The Night Assailants, if you don't have a flip monster, it's Man-Eater Bug, which is fine, I guess. But you would much prefer to cycle. You want to get the cycles going, especially if you're playing a card that benefits purely off of the cycle. You know what I'm saying? So make this Dekos if you want to do the card D. And if you want to do the Kaikus, take out this card D. That's how I see the world right now. And I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry a lot. Here comes Delinquent Duo coming for you, though. Graceful Charity, Heavy Storm, MST, Double Knock, Pot, Snatch, Double Upstart. Simple, to the point. This is pretty much what you see in about 95% of Turbo lists, maybe plus or minus the book. Fair enough. For trap lineups, we have more of the same here. This is looking more like a early 2025 list here with our Mirror Force, the Double RB, the Ring, the TT, and then the 3 Shoots main deck. This guy was expecting a lot of Mirror. A lot of Mirror are going first. You know what I'm saying? That's how you make this triple dust shoot work. You go first. You need to get those loaded dice. I'm saying do not get the loaded dice. In our side, we have Double Wangu, a Mobius, and a Spell Canceller. What is going on here? What is going on here? The Wangus, the Mobius, Spell Canceller in the Turbo deck. No call. No call, by the way. No primo, no nothing right here, by the way. Man, I know we have spies. But are we really busting out the Mobius? Are we really busting down Spell Canceller because we have spies? Come on now. I don't know if I like this very much. I know a lot of people's going to be liking the Spell Canceller. I don't know how I feel about this. And the Wangus, I feel like if you just did one Asura Priest, you could be probably just fine. Save yourself some headaches. Save yourself some heartache. Learn from the others' mistakes here. Especially mine here, and just do yourself an Asura Priest. Do yourself an Asura Priest and a Swamp. Because take a look at this right here. We have a Go Control package. Everybody. We have 2 metas, 2 goats. Imagine a meta. Imagine a swap. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's a little hot. It's a little fiery. It's a little crazy, right? But you have to think about it for a second, and then don't think about it, because I'm going to go into the next card here. The Double Minecon. Fair enough. Double Minecon on the side against the GGP is so good if you have those spies, and you do. And I like that for you. And I like you, Ricardo. I like you a lot here, because you got double walks as well. And you also have the swords. I love me some swords in the side. Maybe there's a world where you do double goat swords swap. I like that. I kind of like that. And maybe get yourself a Karibo somewhere. Ooh, that's money. Now, hold on. I'm going to use that for myself. Don't use that, Ricardo, because I'm going to copyright that. List. Hold on a second. And then to wrap things up here, we have the Double Decree. To wrap things up. Everybody's got the decrees out here in Mexico. Shout out to Ricardo with those decrees as we go on to the 4th list. 2nd place. Here comes Mario jumping out the gym. Here comes Mario. as we have ourselves a crazy list just out the gate here. Look, what am I looking at here, buddy? Whoa, 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 whoa. Back it up, back it up, back it up. Starting with Blackluster Soldier. Fair enough. D-Mock. D-Mock. So we're about to do some high roll stuff here. We're about to really get going here. We're about to go hard in the paint here as we have the D-Mock coming on through. And then here comes Double Sork, No Remorse, almost looking like RGT. It's almost looking like RGT, but then the triple TD comes in, and now I'm thinking, is this Noel Gate? Is this like some old school RGT stuff? You know, RGT back in the day, they had the Noel Gate stuff. Noel Gate had triple TD in the RGT, and then you're thinking like, what's this shit? It's almost like 1, 2, 3. Doesn't make sense to me, you know. But then you see the Kaiku, and I'm like, wait. Is this not like a high roll super summon stuff deck? What's going on here? And then there's a Breaker, Tribe, DD Warrior Lady. What's going on here? What is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Sangan? The Jar Brothers. Forget Mario, forget Luigi. I don't mean Mario's in the second place, but I'm talking about Mario. And Luigi Mario, we got the Jar Brothers, the Super Jario Brothers, coming on in. What the hell list is this? This looks like a super duper teched out, like Chaos Control list, maybe? A super duper teched out Chaos Control list? And then you see the Night Assailants. What are you guys doing here? You guys were here last season on Chaos Turbo. What are you guys doing in this list? The Double Moth? Is this Turbo? The more I go look at the list, the more I'm questioning, what is this deck? How are we winning? What are we doing? What's going on here? Pot, Graceful, okay. Card Destruction. That makes, I kind of see the vision. We do have a lot of flips. We also have Night Assailants. We also have TDs. No syrup. No syrup in the deck. It's just power. And then it dawns on me. Double Taiyu. What the hell? Double Taiyu? What's going on here? Is this Ron? This surely doesn't look like Ron. This doesn't look like a Ron that I know. What is this deck? This deck is second place. He knows more than I do. He is on something that I don't know about. He is doing things that I can never imagine. He's playing in the year 2056, and here I am playing in 2025. He is leagues ahead of me. This guy is 400 IQ. I'm only 40. This guy is super thin, or super healthy, strong, like built like an ox, and here I am, 1,500 pounds, and he's on Double Taiyu. Double Book of Taiyu. What? What? Here goes the Book of Moon. Okay. I feel a little bit better. The swords, main deck swords. So this is some alien technology. I kind of like the idea of swords in main deck. Okay, if you're not playing like a control deck, I can see there's some potential here in the main deck swords. Obviously, it's not that great against certain decks, but in a general field, like a GGP, a main deck swords is something you can think about. It's great for certain decks, for a lot of these like random aggro decks, and it's also really good at just stuffing in some extra turns against RGT, and it blocks off Panda from Panda Burn, as you may know. So I'm kind of liking this. Quite a bit, actually. Shout out to the swords. Heavy Storm, MST, Duo, Snatch, Prima. Okay, leave the Prima alone here. You already got the Book of Moon and the Book of Taiyu. Okay. I'll leave it alone. Scapegoat, one goat, one meta. What? One goat, one meta. A teeny tiny micro package. A teeny tiny goat micro package. I need to know, is this Ron? Is this what Ron looks like nowadays? I've never seen Ron look like this before. I need a Ron expert to tell me on if this is Ron. Is this the Ron that I know? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I've seen some Ron lists. This does not feel like a Ron list. Ron. This list is out of its world. This list is in its own lane. Okay, I don't think I had the ability to really talk too much about what's going on here. And you get double upstart, draw two. You get to draw. That's kind of fun. We like to draw cards, and then there's a monster reincarnation. Like, is this reasoning gate? What's going on here? Oh, a whole monster reincarnation out of nowhere. What's going on? What's going on, big fella? Is everything okay? There's a Call the Haunted, okay? With the Prima, sure, that's fine. You got the books and everything like that. Yep. Ring, yep. Return. Think about that. We have return. Think about that. We have return, right? Why did I do that? Okay. Think about that, right? We have return. We got Demok, and we have a bunch of Chaos Mons. So we're trying to pull out. Are we just trying to aim for a big fat return play and do it really fast? Like, this isn't just return. Like, we are doing a bunch of other things here, right? This deck is speaking a different language to me. This whole deck is speaking a different language to me. We have the TT, the Mirror Force, and a Magic Jammer for our 41st card? 2 lists in the top 4 that have more than 40 cards main? Are you kidding me? What is going on there at GGP Queretaro, baby? That is wild. Shout out to these duelists thinking outside the box. I couldn't even ponder the idea, the path that it took to build something like this. I could never. I want to stick to my stupid stuff. I want to stick to my Tomo Bis, okay, and try to be happy and live a fulfilling life that way. Because sheesh, brother, sheesh. Roll Decree for you. Okay. In the side deck here, right, we have double Decree. Okay. Appropriate. Are you serious? What? Oh my God. Becky, look at his side. It's appropriate. What the f is that? What the f is that? That's appropriate. What? Activate. Only when your opponent draws a card, in parentheses S, or multiple cards outside of either draw phase. After that, each time your opponent draws a card outside of either draw phase, immediately draw 2 cards. Oh my God. I can't believe that there's a person playing this. I can't believe this guy is out here doing this. Mario is a straight up killer. Okay, don't get Mario on nothing stronger than this, dude. Mario is sweeping as is. He's doing just fine. As he also has the 1 Regeki break. Okay. 1 curse seal. Okay, I see it. I see you with the curse seal. The curse seal coming on through. Okay, back again. Back once again. This curse seal. Okay, as there's a True Nade. I feel like the True Nade would be in the main, right? I feel like this deck, you would want this True Nade main deck because you're doing all this pop-off stuff. Maybe not, though. Maybe you want some disruption with this True Nade. Against Warrior, perhaps. Maybe the Solemn decks, you want to trouble them, make them burn for 4,000, make them have it. Okay. If so, that's fair. Here comes another goat in meta. So you can upgrade to the goat, to 2 goats, 2 metas. Again, dude, this 1 goat, 1 meta stuff is bizarre. Quite frankly. It is, quite frankly, very strange to witness what I'm seeing here. But you know what? All's fair. All's fair. He's second place. I didn't even place. Well, I didn't go, but I'm sure that if I went, I wouldn't have placed. Because look at these decks, man. These players are killers out here. These players scare me. Especially with their walk. Look at that. There's chicken. What is this? There's chicken. There's 2 chickens in the side here. I mean, not 2 chickens. You have the hand and the chicken. What the hell? So I'm assuming you bring this stuff and then you bring chicken? Whoa. There's too much going on in this list. There's way too much here for my brain to comprehend here. I think I might be too dumb to understand what I'm seeing here. Maybe I am too dumb to bear witness to this deck, okay? As we had the Mirage Dragon. The Mirage Dragon, your opponent can activate trap cards during the battle phase. Fair enough, but what's that doing here? What's that doing here? For Warrior? For Warrior turn out their Sakus? Okay, fair enough. Chiron the Mage, dude. Oh my goodness. What is this Chiron doing? This Chiron. Popping stuff, yeah. 1800, yeah. But in your wildest dreams, you would never imagine this Chiron being in this type of list. This Chiron is just blowing my mind. This Chiron is never in your wildest dreams could you ever imagine this deck. A deck like this that has Devil Tayu, the Jar Brothers, all this stuff, to also then have the Chiron in the side. Never in your wildest imaginations could you even potentially figure out why this card is in this list. But that's why Mario is probably a better player. That's why Mario is second place, and here I am sitting in front of my computer wishing I was there, okay? Because he's able to figure it out and not me. Shout out to Mario here as we wrap up with a Mobius and a Jinzo. That makes sense, especially if you do the decrees because you get the call still, you still get the primo. Congrats to you, second place, Mario. And now, for first place, we have Alejandro coming on in. Take a look at this. Starting off with Sinister Serpent, Syrup, Devil Moth. Fair start, okay. Double Night Ass, okay. It's got a Night Ass, okay. 1 to the 2 of them. Sangan, okay. Tsukiyomi, okay. Double Spy. Some people are okay with Double Spy. I would really want to bump that up. If I can find a monster in here that we can cut for triple spy, if I had to pick between 0 spies and 2 spies, I'm going with the 2 spies. If I had to pick between those two, obviously you want the third. We will see there's a third available to us. But, at the moment, two spies fine. 2 Deco. Okay, I like 2 Deco a lot, actually. 2 Deco is super, super clean. I like that. That's kind of cash money. That's on the cash money side of things. I like the 2 Deco a lot. Here comes Breaker, Tribe, TDs, Parshath coming in. Whoa. This deck went off the rails super fast just now. You're telling me there's a Parshath in this main deck? The winning list has a Parshath in the main? This isn't Detox, by the way. This looks like it's Turbo, right? This looks like it's resembling Turbo, and then out comes this Parshath. What the hell? Shout out to this player, dude. He's rocking some good shit. Shout out to this player, man. He's rocking some good stuff here with this Parshath in the main deck. Obviously, I know what you would want to swap out for a third spy, but you know what? The Parshath does not lie. Here it is. Winning list. Got the Parshath in the main. I like what I see here. There's power in this card. As we also see 1 Sork. Only 1. Only 1 Sork? Okay. There's a D-Mock. Okay. Some people, I do know that there are some people that do like this idea of like replacing your Sork with a D-Mock. I don't hate the idea. Obviously, I think that if you're aiming for the consistency side of things, this Sork could be, a twosie and you'd be a lot more happy. But if you want to get if you want to get double pot, super easy or something like that, then sure, the D-Mock can do you wonders. Sure, obviously it's a lot more harder to set up. And obviously this is more reason why you'd want that third spy. But I don't hate it. Let's get ourselves a third spy here. And then we can talk more about this D-Mock, okay? I think that's a good start. And then to wrap it up for the monsters, we have the BLS. Off the top rope here for the spells, we have Double Knock, 1 Brain Con. I'm not even going to mention this. I'm not going to talk about it. We've seen this all over. They love this card too much. I'm just going to pass on over here. Okay, we have Heavy Storm, Delinquent Duo, Prima, Card Destruction. Now, Card Destruction here I like a lot, because especially since you have the D-Mock, right? You have the D-Mock. It justifies this card destruction a lot more because you want to ship this bad boy to the grave so you can bring it back up later with the Prima or the Call. I like it. I like it a lot. You have the double Night Assailant, the triple TD, and the SERP. This is gonna be Bibby Num Nums. This is big numbers for you, baby. I like what I see here. Snatch, Graceful, MST, Pot, clean, very clean. No messing around here on these spells, baby. This is what I like to see here. Obviously, this Brain Con. is a little wild. But you know what? Again, you had this Air Knight and you had this Demock. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. You can even synergize it with the Tsukiyomi. Fair enough. Okay. On the traps here, starting off here with double Saku. Double Saku. It's a little random. The double Saku is a little random, but that's fine. Let's keep it pushing here. What's next? We have the Ring of Destruction. Call the Haunted. I like to call the Haunted here. Gets you the Air Knight. Gets you the Demock. Gets you a Sangan if you want to get that Sangan. Gets you back to Tribe. I like it. I like it. I like it. Especially since we're only on one Sork, one BLS, the chance of this stuff being around is a lot more likely. Okay, fair enough. TT, Dustinato, super random. Super random. This should be your second Raigeki break, as we only have one Raigeki break. Let's get a second one in here, dude. We have all this discard fodder. Literally all this discard fodder. Only one break? Let's get ourselves two breaks. You could even say maybe three. Okay, you can even say maybe three Raigeki break main. I may not agree with it fully, but somebody could do that pretty easily. And I would not hate that idea, okay? And then to wrap it on up here, we have a Mirror Force and a Return. That makes sense to me because you have the Demock. You can obviously get your banished materials back with your BLS and your Sork, and that could maybe mean that you get back your Parshath if you banish it off of your Sork. Fair enough. I would still say, though, that this could also be a Raigeki break. Maybe if you lose your Demock, it's just gone. Maybe once it's banished, it's banished. But who knows? Maybe I'm the wrong one here, man. This is a first place list. Maybe I'm the one that's messed up here. Don't trust everything I say. Trust what wins. And Alejandro is winning with this list. And as we go into the side here, we got ourselves triple Wombat. I think this might be a mistake, especially since, as you can see later on here, we have the Warrior package. Why can't we have an Archer? Why can't we have an Archer here? This seems a little excessive for what we're aiming for, but you know what? Fair enough. If he's expecting a lot of burn, if he's expecting that burn, that's fine. Get the Wombats in. Do what you can get, okay? Get what you can get. It's also fine with the call. They do a big chain package thing, and then you can either chain your decree or you can chain a call to deal with it. I think that might be okay. Fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Coming up next here, Mystic Swordsman level 2. Okay. Exile Force. Okay. Blade Knight. Okay, that's our Warrior package that we can side in for. For Turbo, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think that's perfectly acceptable. I would want a Dark Warrior, I think, but maybe not. Maybe Sasuke I would want. I think I would want a Sasuke. If I'm doing something like this, maybe a Sasuke to help make the spies more manageable. Because I feel like if you have this Rhoda, you want to do some spot kills, and I feel like Sasuke would definitely help. If his face-up spies, this Air Knight is getting totally blown out, okay? You want something that can deal with the spies pretty effectively. None of these really do once it's flip face up. Get you a Sasuke. That's what I'm going to think off the top of my head. It's off the top of the dome. Get yourself a Sasuke and you'll be a lot more happier. Okay, as we go on to Double Mob and a Jinzo. Yep, because we have the call, we have the Prima. Okay, I like what I see. Then you have the card destruction, the Jinzo pitch off of card destruction. Blah, blah, blah. As we pitch off the card destruction is totally fine. Again, with Prima and call, that just makes this Jinzo even better. Fair enough. Jinzo Turbo, baby. I like what I see there. There's your Rhoda. We already went over that. There's your Double Decree. Double Decree works pretty nicely with your Call to Haunts. It works pretty well with most of this deck. But then again, at the same time, I think you should be a bit more reliant on traps a little bit here. I said this should be a double Raigeki break here. And that should be really crucial to popping off your Demock plays. Making use of your discard fodder here. I don't know how much I agree with the decree. These could be shoots. I'm thinking shoots. Okay, I'm thinking shoots here potentially. Take that with a grain of salt, but I'm thinking shoots here instead. Because you're already pretty set on your warriors here. I mean, this list looks like it should be much more manageable against it, because especially since you have the brain control. Obviously, you would want to replace the Parshath for the Jinzo if you want to go that route, but that's fine. It's okay. It's okay. And then you know what, and then you can also figure out something else here. Maybe you can do some Byras if you want to keep this for warrior. And then you already have 3 set for burn. You already have the wombats for burn. Yeah, this could be something else. This could be something else. Double jar on the side is crazy. Who's setting the jars? What are the jars for? Somebody with a bigger brain, tell me in the comments. What does the double jar do for this deck in the side? Let me know in the comments below. As we enter on the last card, it's the second Destinator. Fair enough. Fair enough. I like the second Destinator on the side because it also makes your warrior matchups a little bit better, and also again hits burn. I like it. I like it. Obviously, I might disagree with a few cards in this list, but I'm not going to take that away from first place. Alejandro doing his thing. Shout out to you. And again, congratulations on winning this GGP Queretaro. And this has been your boy, Toof. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more GOAT format content. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.